Yo, 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 what it do now? It's just a babe. Yeah, I didn't know mine. And yes, I know it's been a minute. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without some controversial shit to step to. So what's happening? And as we get started, I think it's only right that we take it back real quick so I can explain where I was in my absence. Because trust me, we've been out here getting to it, y'all. We've been building out here at CRN, MCJ, and OMP. That's right. Three entities all working toward the same goal: liberation of the people through civic engagement, cultural empowerment, and financial literacy. Honestly, it's kind of been like that old show, Where in the World is Carmen Santiago? But more like, Where in the hell is Just the Baby? And baby, we've been a few places for sure. We hit DC like four times. Like we hit North Carolina, we hit up Arizona, we taught civics in the hometown. Like we performed in the hometown and Columbus. We completed, right? Like we completed a $50,000 contract to build a civically engaged artist-led infrastructure throughout 5 different states. I mean, we even started our own heating press company as evidence of the piece that I'm wearing now. Like, bro, we've been moving and grooving all over, and big things are still happening. But with all that going on, I felt there was this chilling absence. Almost as if a ghost had taken over my seat and left the controls untouched. I kept feeling too consumed to watch or take in media. I kept letting off these epic rants to my people, and they told me I need to come back. The problem was never how much I wanted to do this, but how much I had to give. I still work a full time position in the middle of 3 companies I run. I just like saying that: OMP, CRN, and MCJ. I'm still a traveling and performing spoken word artist with multiple projects released. I be having so much going on. But things just felt empty. Without controversial conversation blasting through the airways, the stations all sound repetitive. And that was the main intention in bringing the show back, for real, for real. See, I enjoy a few different left wing independent platforms: Secular Talk, to Mateo, to some more news, to more Perfect Union. And y'all should go follow those for real because they're great. But they ain't got that Jokester signature style and tone. Something I've noticed about commentators is that they really ain't in the field like that, right? Like they preach from their computer desk and lecture through live streams, but they don't actually organize. They don't create calls to action other than don't vote for this person or these people are bad because they did so and so. Not to say that the analysis of the other channels ain't sharp, because it is, right? They just don't satisfy my inkling anymore. And I've been fortunate to see things through a new lens and framework called the PQAS method. And that's PQAS. And what this method stands for is problems, questions, answers, and solutions. Essentially, what I realized is that we always state the problem, which leads us to question it, which leads us to an answer. The issue is the majority of people stop at the answer and never apply the solution. This is what is missing in this discourse. See, there's a lot of diagnosing of the problem, but there isn't a lot of remedies being applied. So I wanted to come back to the platform and start to really give these problems we've been questioning a solution to the answers we keep coming up with. And the last major thing that I've been cooking up in the lab is, well, the thing I am most proud of. You see, I got hit with this idea while in conversation with a homie of mine. She kept telling me that she wanted to be more active, but she didn't know where to start. And I saw it so often in the conversations and comment threads I've been reading. There is this energy of resistance that is so palpable, you can just feel it in the air. But the problem is that when these people reach out to be a part of the movement, they are immediately pushed into their local party. This leads to inevitable burnout because the goal of the party isn't always to better the community, it's normally to elect candidates to their party or from their party. And the policies are just a byproduct of whichever side the politician claims to be on. And I'll get more into why I think it's time to actually move on from our traditional system a little bit later, but for now, I want to introduce a solution. Rollo. Revolutionaries, activists, leaders, and organizers. Basically, the idea is this: everybody is seeking a role in the movement, but there aren't pipelines created that can help transform them from a citizen to a civically engaged agent of change. So we created the Rollo Open Minded Institute, which is an ROI, for the investment you're making into your community. Now, some people will come out and want to be on the front lines. They will create frameworks. They will envision the new world and fight to form it. They will be revolutionaries. I love them. And then you have the ones that will be the voices of the movement, the ones who advocate on behalf of the community, the true voices of the voiceless. They will be the activists. Can you hear? Then you have the ones who recognize the seats of power need better people. The ones who will push the frameworks revolutionaries create into the policies that become law. The ones who govern with empathy and respect. These are going to be the leaders. Shouts out. And finally, you have the movers and shakers. The ones who will run mutual aid networks and nonprofits. The ones who put together food banks and grocery stores, the ones who will be the hands of the movement. These are the organizers. Y'all are like my favorite, for real. Now, I realize people won't always fit into these perfectly, and that's not the goal. You see, the goal is to create a framework they can utilize and then apply it to how they want to be impactful. And as we continue to build out things, this idea is really starting to look more and more brilliant. And that's kind of just like a little bit, right, about why I have been everywhere except this damn desk. And most of the reason for why I am coming back. The main reason I am coming back, though, y'all ain't mad enough. So let's see, we got the Iran war, the people still poor, we can't afford what they put in the store, costs a whole newborn just to buy a new Ford, gas coming up short, need some more dinosaurs. Speaking of roars, Mother Nature we used to adore, but keeps getting treated by the elites like a whore, and I could go on more and more, because the truth is, y'all ain't mad enough. Every day a new genocide, the IDF killing every man, woman, child, because being anti-Semitic, now the biggest crime. Mainstream media complicit in the lie, plus half the country doesn't bat an eye when folks are killed till the gas is high, and I could type and type, but the truth is, y'all not mad enough. Like, the world is...
Hey man, I done told you about doing them poems in the middle of a podcast. If you don't get your ass back to that damn analysis, we ain't got time for you to be out here rhyming and shit, man. Get your shit together.
He right, my bad. We got a spoken word performance for you later. You don't want to miss it. But let's get back to the analysis, because you know how we do. So look, man, we got to take a look at the way the world is turning and burning, because since this motherfucker done took office, I can confidently say there has not been a day where it ain't some bullshit. And I'm not going to consume you with all the news clips and headlines, because they really ain't been reporting on shit. And I think that's the most annoying part of this all, is that there is literally no resistance and opposition to this fascism. Like, every part of the goddamn government is so complicit that trying to reform it says more about us than it does about the system. We continue each and every election cycle to build up this optimism that this is the one. We churn out candidate after candidate that continues to tell us the same thing once in office. Give me another term to fix it. Until your ass is in office for over 34 years, like Georgia's 2nd Congressional District Representative Sanford Bishop. I mean, this motherfucker really came into office the same year as Bill Clinton. And at one point, I'm sure he was actively fighting the good fight, but he's been in the system so long that it's, well, a part of it. I mean, from his pro-Israel stance to his anti-First Amendment votes to the embezzling of funds, it's clear that he's a product of the same machine that he once claimed to fight. But here's my thing. My issue isn't even with Sanford, so much as it is with a system that is designed to extract the wealth out of the ones who create it and vilify the ones who speak out against it. See, we have a capitalistic system that is dominated by and predicated on white supremacy. Each institution within America upholds both of these stupid ass frameworks. Capitalism is and always has been about extraction and exploitation. White supremacy is and always has been, well, fucking ridiculous nonsense. But without addressing these root issues, we can't actually have a system that benefits the working class. Capitalism keeps the wealth at the top so the working class can't access it, and white supremacy enforces social norms that cause the working class to fight rather than come together in solidarity. And this is why we have to burn this shit down. We have a healthcare system that was built on the experimentation of black women and children and has serious consequences that exist today. The police in this country are the descendants of the slave patrol and have always had the task of policing black and brown bodies. The criminal justice system enslaves the most people per capita in the world through overcriminalization, surveillance, and forced labor. And these are just a few examples of the institutions that we hold so dear in this country that are rotten to the motherfucking core. We cannot fix what is not broken. I repeat, we cannot fix what is not broken. This system isn't broken. It's designed to be flawed. It's designed to be inherently unjust. It's designed to reward cruelty and punish those that fight back. Those that speak out are turned into targets of the oppressor. First, let's just look at Thomas Massie. Now, y'all know how I feel about Republicans, conservatism, and the GOP, but objectively speaking, they fuck Buddy raw. Him along with Ro Khanna were instrumental in getting the Epstein files brought to the forefront in Congress and to be released. Of course, this is the most corrupt administration of all time, so the files haven't come out. But for being for the people and speaking out against this party and being on the right side of history, he was beaten in his primary. And not because the people ain't rock with him no more, but because that Kentucky primary became the most expensive campaign of all time. They spent about $30 million to beat him to stop his stance on Israel and from pushing for the files to be released. But luckily for him, he now has some type of immunity where he can now say whatever he wants on the floor without fear of lawsuit or prosecution. And there's actually other questions about whether or not it was a fair and just election, which I'm sure is going to be the case for a lot of these races heading into the midterms and after. But the main question that needs to be raised is, are we really at the point where our biggest elections can be bought? We've spoken about ending Citizens United before, and I think this race right here highlights how, once again, we need to get big money out of politics. Also, it is time for AIPAC to register as a foreign lobby. The ability to influence American elections for the sake of Israeli representation, loyalty, and allegiance is beyond egregious. So, I am in no way endorsing the right or conservatives, but I am going to give a shout out to Massie for staying true. And, we just got to see how this shit goes. But speaking of truth, the truth is, it ain't just relegated to the right. Shit, let's take a look at Hasan Piker. Just for simply speaking truth to power, he has become the enemy of the state. The worst part is that the Democratic Party leadership and other members are reveling in the idea that Hasan could be prosecuted. I need you to understand that. All of the shit that I done laid out so far in this motherfucking episode, and the one thing that the Democrats can agree to fight is Hasan Piker. They refuse to acknowledge the Gaza genocide. They refuse to hold a primary. They force the candidate that we called out in 2020 down our throats. They decapitate any left-wing coalition, and they receive the same funding from the same donors that fund the GOP. So that's why it's fuck the DNC. And shouts out to Hasan for holding it down and staying true to the cause. Man, capitalism will have you thinking the villains are the heroes and that the heroes are all dead. But speaking of capitalism, we're going to go take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to Controversial Conversation. Yo, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Jones, man. So, like we told you, we got the new heating press going. As you can tell, man, got the shirts on deck. But one of the dopest parts about MCJ management is we always want to give back. So, we were able to create the Free Congo, Free Sudan, and Free Palestine tee, where 30% of all proceeds are going to go to the ICR, which specializes in the conflict zones of Sudan, of Congo, and of Palestine. But also, straight free Palestine, just for the movement, just for the cause, where 25% of all proceeds are going to go to the Palestinian Children Relief Fund, where they specialize in helping the children get prosthetics and other medical attention that is necessary to the children in Gaza and the West Bank. So if you want your tea, holla at me. And you already know, free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, and free all oppressed people across the world. Power to the people. Welcome back. Hi. So while I was gone, and actually pretty recently, there was a huge Supreme Court decision that came down. The Louisiana v. Calais case, which breaks down how districting in this country actually goes. Basically, it crushed Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act about diluting minority representation. If that sounds convoluted and goofy, allow me to explain. Let's take the Georgia Public Service Commission. They are what is called an at-large voting district. They break the state of Georgia down into five districts based off of population's proportional value so that each district has the same amount of citizens. That sounds reasonable until you start to break down the mechanics. Every person in the state votes for all 5 districts regardless of where they live. But in order to run for a particular district, the candidate has to live in that specific district. That is the tricky part. A real-life example is the 2025 PSC primary where top candidate Daniel Blackman was running for a district but had a primary residence in another district. He tried to get the address situation handled and it went to court, but he eventually was disqualified from the race. Had he lived in the district he ran for, he would have been fine, even though living there he still has to vote on all 5 regardless. And this is not by accident. It's a way to allow the majority the ability to have the candidate that they want to win most times rather than representation. And most times, than none, the majority is white, Republican, and conservative. This means that the Georgia PSC is dominated by what the white majority of Georgia decide rather than equal representation across the board. Now contrast this system with something like Geographic Post. Let's say those 5 districts in Georgia were set up the exact same, but in this system, you only vote for the candidate that is running in your district and not the other races. You can add at-large seats, and those can fill out the board to have representation for the whole area, but they don't become the gatekeeping method that a complete at-large district would. So I bring all that back to the Supreme Court case that just came down and want to highlight just how quick Republican states went into special session to redraw the maps. It is so fucking stupid and an insult to our intelligence that it was for any means other than voter suppression and to cheat in elections. And of course, when the left attempts to do it, they are stifled by some nonsensical bullshit. And even when the people agree on it, they can still be told to go fuck themselves like the people of Virginia. You see, the system is a sham. And the white supremacist urge to regulate the country based off of a classist hierarchy will be the reason we repeat this cycle until we change. But also, my main thought on this redistricting, it kind of falls into 2 different schools of thought. On one hand, it is mentally and emotionally exhausting trying to participate in the system when the carpet keeps getting pulled out from us with these cheap tricks to disenfranchise our vote. But on the other hand, if you motherfuckers just fucking came out and vote, then it wouldn't really matter because the numbers are with the people. Now, I know that might sound like a contradiction given earlier I said participating in the system won't do anything for us. But listen, I am, if nothing else, a reasonable person. We have no alternative power structures put in place, and until we have collective action, we can't make any moves. And that will not happen until we understand intersectionality. the totality of everybody's struggles so we can create a fully liberated society, and class consciousness, the framework that allows us to come together as the working class against the elites and create the conditions to receive our material needs. And until we can do that, we will not be able to eradicate white supremacy and capitalism as the two dominant forces in our institutions. And that change isn't going to come in the form of angry Facebook posts or Twitter rants and TikTok clips. It's going to come from the people rising up and realizing they had the power all along. We can no longer engage in performative activism. We have to finally stand up today. And I can go on and on about that, but I think it's best I let our next speaker hit you with a spoken word performance. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming from the city of Warner Robins, he is a revolutionary storyteller. He is a liberation lyricist. He is the voice of his generation. And here he is, live to perform his world famous piece, F Yo Hashtag. So, let me get a warm welcome for the Michael C. Jones. Thank you, Jokester. I definitely appreciate that. I appreciate that warm welcome. So, as he said, my name is Michael C. Jones. I am a spoken word artist, revolutionary storyteller, all of that stuff. And tonight, I am going to do my piece called Fuck Yo Hashtag. Yo, fuck yo hashtag. Cause we don't give a damn, man, changing your profile pic like that's a grand plan, bruh. Toss us that emoji in the trash can. See, we need action, something to make sure this type of shit don't happen. But when we ask when, y'all say shit don't change. Using that past tense, well, we past pissed, ready to slam fists over this white and black shit, so what's up? Another police department coming up corrupt? Hiding evidence and letting it compile dust? And no one makes a fuss. Apparently, because it's only happening to us. Y'all mad I'm bringing it up. Like, damn, man. Enough is enough. See, I'm tired of saying things, and you're tired of listening. So no, we are not the same. You're tired of hearing about black deaths, but I'm tired of feeling them. So no, we are not the same. You tired of the movement, but I've been trying to lead it. So no, we are not the same. Oh yes, how is it cool when white people protest? It's like, when that happens, we can understand the context. But when black folks doing it, they just being mad and upset. Man, it's like them double standards, been working double time as that racist ghost from the past keeps trying to come alive. But what if I did the same thing? Like, would that cause the same pain? Like, what if I pulled a Dylan Roof? Would you act like it's okay because you didn't see me shoot? Or because I just got done praying with you? Or what if I pulled a George Zimmerman? Turn some little white boy into a Trayvon? Would you look the mother in the eyes and tell her to just stay strong? See, when the tables are turned, it's like y'all don't want to get served, but here's a plate full of food for thought with a side of dessert since you thought shit was sweet, but now you ain't got the nerve, but got the audacity to tell us react rationally when we see another black dead body collapse in the street acting like it isn't actually a travesty. Can't feel the gravity, but want to try to hold us down when you see the videos on your apps and spring. Karen, please. And Barbecue Becky. Nah, I mean, it's funny when it's jokes. But it's not funny when it's the next thing. When cops make unarmed black folks' necks bleed. Protected by their vests, yelling he's a threat. Ain't even a felon yet, but try to split his head into three. It's like, you know, it's been going on for so long, yet you just push it aside as if it was no prob. See, we were screaming black lives. And then they said all lives. And they became landmines for the Civil War times. And the sad thing, all we really wanted was peace. You know, the reason Kaepernick went and taken the knee only took another 50 niggas being killed for you to finally agree, but it's cool for white folks to get pissed and storm the police because they thought the election was stolen and breached, and we just trying not to get killed by jogging the streets. Ahmaud Arbery, that is an R.I.P. but they're calling us the terrorists. And it's apparent that these racist kids be getting their racist views from their racist parents, but still be swearing they don't be staring at her hair and glaring with an eye full of guilty embarrassment every time they're sharing another racist post made by Cousin Aaron. Then want to recite stereotypes and get defensive like a parrot, still chasing some metaphorical carrot, yelling out talking points, but I just can't hear it. So listen up. You either speaking out or you piping down, because we got enough enemies trying to fight us now, but guarantee we'll never throw in the whitest towel. We'll never give in, give up, or give way to the lighter crowd, but understand that this ain't a threat. This ain't a warning. This ain't even an instigation. It's just a critique of how you live in this nation and how every racist situation is another tear in the fabric of the blanket statements you're making. Because we are so tired of wishing you would awaken to the aching that's plaguing the minority population, taken for granted, shaken and battered, handed disaster after disaster with no preparation, hated and degraded, so blatant with hatred as it exchanges amongst the angriest of faces. So what I'm saying is that karma isn't playing. It's just been ducked down low, laying, waiting for the weakened souls to become more brazen when explaining ways of their disdainment and how radical they are with the changes. So I guess now it's time we make them. We need to dismantle the white supremacist legislation that stops people from enjoying their recreation just because their skin color has darker shading. We need to engage in campaigns that are aimed with rage towards discrimination. We need to claim stake in our fate until we fall into a state of devastation. We need to make great on the late slate of proposed reparations. And we need to make change instead of always trying to debate the situation. So what I am saying is that it is no longer time for writing papers or persuading people with the words that we have been arranging. That time was in the beginning. This time is feeling like the ending. So yeah, it's fuck your hashtag. Because what's the point of a hashtag if the bodies keep trending? Hey, that boy good. Anyways, man, hey, y'all can go check out Michael C. Jones and his release, Protest Poetry, Volume 1, on all streaming platforms. Volume 2, coming soon. Y'all be on the lookout for that too. So, as we come to the end of this time we have together, I want to hit you with something I used to do way back when. I mean, when we first started this thing, I used to do a book review of whatever I had just read, and I felt like it was a great way to promote literacy and get folks educated on the topics that I'd be studying. So we're going to end this conversation first with the book review, and then I'm going to send you on your way with a call to action. That's right. We don't just consume, we move and we execute now. So for this week's book review, I decided to choose a book I cannot stop talking about. No Cop City, No Cop World is a collection of essays and articles written by the people on the ground during the No Cop City movement here in Georgia. This book is one of those page turners that has you questioning everything you thought you understood about the strategic ways to fight the state. I mean, it's got so many eye-opening passages that highlight the triumphs and tragedies and really spells out a story of what it takes to go all out. From sabotaging the equipment to destroy the Weelaunee Forest or hosting events simultaneously as the city to bring awareness to its gross abuses, the main thing that I got from this book is really something that I can't stop coming back to. It's the idea of power structures versus political representation. When we look at the makeup of the leadership in Atlanta, it is overwhelmingly Black. From council to mayor to DA and on, there is a huge presence of African Americans in all levels. And with all that representation, they still don't actually have the power to dictate what happens in their own city. Enter power structures. The most powerful entities in Atlanta aren't the local government, but the myriad of business interests and the Atlanta Police Foundation. And we're going to do a whole segment on police where we just kind of like break down and show why they're, well, the most dangerous, but then also why this is the most dangerous police union and organization. The Atlanta Police, the APF, yeah. But the real power players outside of the APF are the presidents of Emory and Georgia State University, the CEO of Truist, the CEO of Cox Communications, which owns the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, effectively allowing them control over media and narratives. Arthur Blank, founder of Home Depot and owner of them sorry-ass Atlanta Falcons, the CEO of Coca-Cola, and other big corporation board members. These are the people who are truly deciding whether or not Atlanta is what we believe it to be. There's this notion that it is this black mecca where Young Thug, T.I., and Killer Mike run the city with other rappers in an iron fist. Like, it's goofy. But I don't know. That's what people think. So, in fact, to be honest, the black population has been cut from 67% to 49% in the past 30 years alone. This started with the need to change the image for the 1996 Olympics and create a narrative of safe, enjoyable cultural city that is on the rise. And this came at the expense of the black residents as they were pushed out further and further to make room for the new young budding college and work professionals. All of this and so much more was waiting for me inside these pages. And when I say they changed the way I see the world, that is not hyperbole. So I recommend everybody taking a chance to read this incredible book, No Cop City, No Cop World, edited by Micah Herskine, Mariah Parker, and Camus Franklin. This truly is an abolitionist framework for how to reimagine the way we police ourselves, but also how we love ourselves. And with that, I do believe it is a wrap. So I'm going to hit you with a call to action. And today what I want you to do is to reimagine the world without the traditional police forces. What would that look like? What would be the response if a crime happened? What if we didn't use prisons to punish people, but what if criminal justice was built on rehabilitation and centering the victim to repair any harm that might have been caused? What would that actually look like? Comment in the section below, and then go do some research on what the scholars and the deep thinkers believe. You might be surprised at how many academic and scholarly papers tell you that the way we do things is just not conducive to being the most beneficial for anybody involved, but the state and the prison industrial complex. So with that, I'll let y'all go. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button, or that follow, or that like, or whatever it is you're in the mood to do. And as always, I need two things from y'all. I need y'all to be good, and I need y'all to be great. One love. It's Jokes the Babe. Hey man, don't be yelling at me anymore when you be talking like that. If you don't want me to do no poems and stuff like that, there's a way that you can tell me how to do that.